The Newshour Special Edition.
A very good evening. You're watching the Newshour Special Edition with me, Kritsween Walia. Viewers, close to an hour ago, Kavitha could be seen walking out of the Enforcement Directorate office in the national capital. She's not been summoned for tomorrow, but it was a good 9-hour-long grilling session. Remember, the ED claims that she was among the key characters who orchestrated the scam as part of a conspiracy. In fact, the case against her in the ED prosecution complaint states that there was an understanding between Kavitha and the Aam Aadmi Party, wherein in exchange of kickbacks to the tune of 100 crore rupees, she allegedly got access to the Delhi liquor business. Now, earlier today, while the questioning was going on, BRS workers hit the streets in the national capital and in Hyderabad, accusing the central agencies of acting on BJP's behest. Hear it from the BRS first. We'll play out that reaction in just a bit, but yes, the BRS has been very, very angry at the latest turn of events, especially with regards to Kavitha's questioning yesterday. And I remember today, BRS MP, we'll play out that reaction in just a bit. In the meanwhile, let's shift our focus and talk about the timing of it all. The central agencies, remember, can be seen cracking the whip on various leaders, including grilling Manish Sisodia of the Aam Aadmi Party, who is in custody, questioning Kavitha of the BRS and summoning Tejashvi Yadav in another case. Given the current scenario, a united opposition sees red over this pattern and has collectively hit out at the BJP, calling it deliberate targeting of opposition leaders by the government. The opposition claimed only they were being targeted while the BJP was being given a clean sheet. To bolster their case, the opposition in fact cited the action by the ED and by the CBI in the last 1 week alone. From the ED arresting Manish Sisodia to Kavitha being called for questioning and action on RJD leaders in the Land for Job case as well. The opposition questioned how the ED lens was only on the opposition, calling the action selective. First, hear it from the BRS, thereafter other opposition reactions coming in.
Why the constitutional bodies, either ED or CBI or income tax, they are not inquiring into Sri Lanka's issue, which was a 6,000 to 5,000 crores, which was the contract given to Adani by the influence of Modi ji? Why they are not inquiring into that? And why they are not inquiring into the illicit drug mafia which was taken at the airport of at the seaport of Adani to mentally weaken the BRS leaders, BRS party? This Modi ji's government misusing the constitutional bodies and making false allegations.
बंद केस खुलवा करके जिसमें कोई दम ना हो, उसको अगर आप जिंदा करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं ना, तो संस्थाओं की क्रेडिबिलिटी तो खत्म हो ही रही है। ये दिल्ली सल्तनत की भी क्रेडिबिलिटी खत्म हो रही है।
देखिए, सीबीआई, ईडी, इनकम टैक्स, ये सब सरकार के इशारे पे काम करती है। कांग्रेस ने भी देश के बहुत सारे नेताओं पे ईडी, सीबीआई, इनकम टैक्स समय समय पे मारे हैं। उसी रास्ते पर बीजेपी है, तो बीजेपी कौन सा नया काम कर रही है? अगर कांग्रेस आज जमीन पर पहुंच गई तो कल बीजेपी जमीन पर पहुंचेगी।
एक नया पैसा, जिम्मेदारी से कह रहा हूं, एक नया पैसा भारतीय जनता पार्टी की एजेंसियों को नहीं मिला। लेकिन फिर भी आज मनीष सिसोदिया जी को राजनीतिक कारणों के चलते ईडी और सीबीआई ने पकड़ के जेल में बंद कर दिया।
So yes, in the meanwhile, remember, these are the kind of reactions coming in. We'll take you through some of the BJP reactions as well. But to put this in perspective, viewers, let's talk about the opposition claims. These searches, raids and arrests, they say in the past have been linked to elections, levelling the poll stunt charge at the BJP. So let's take you through some of these instances from the past 2 to 3 years before we play out the BJP response to the same. We're going to place out the context for you and also the timing of it all as is being raised by the opposition. June 27, 2022 is when we saw the entire Eknath Shinde versus Uddhav camp in Maharashtra. Thereafter, of course, Eknath Shinde along with the BJP also took to power the chair in the Maharashtra cabinet. Now, as far as this action is concerned, the Enforcement Directorate summons Uddhav aide Sanjay Raut in the land scam case. So that's the timing that the opposition is speaking of. to quickly talk about Jan 2022 ahead of the Punjab state elections in 117 seats. The Enforcement Directorate, remember, had searched 10 spots, including Chief Minister's skin house as well. So those are some of the details. As you can see on your screens, we'll put out that graphic as well, which really puts in context why these voices from the opposition today are being heard. But as far as the BJP is concerned, remember, the BJP has rubbished all of these claims. The BJP rubbishing these claims, saying
यादव जी का तुम मुझे प्लॉट दो मैं तुम्हें जॉब दूंगा। तो हर किसी ने अपना अपना मॉडल देश में निकाल रखा था भ्रष्टाचार करने का। आज जब कार्रवाई हो रही है तो चोर चोर मुसेरे भाई कह रहे हैं, भ्रष्टाचारी एक साथ होने की बात कर रहे हैं। ये महागठबंधन नहीं, महाठगबंधन की ओर जाने की बात कर रहे हैं।
चाहे वो कमीशन खोरी हो या मुनाफाखोरी हो, एक के बाद एक घोटाले हों और शराब को लेकर आबकारी नीति हो, लेकिन एक एक करके उनके सारे पोल अब खुल रहे हैं। मुझे लगता है इसीलिए वो एक गहरी चिंतन में अभी मसरूफ हैं।
That instead of following a transparent system, an opaque system was followed, and it appears a few select people were the beneficiaries, and there are some Hyderabad connections. And what the Aam Aadmi Party then did is, when the scam came out, they scrapped the new policy and brought back the old scrap policy, which they said was bad. Now, obviously, this has to be investigated.
let's quickly open this up. This evening, we're being joined by our panel, Sanju Verma, National Spokesperson of the BJP, along with senior lawyer Swapnil Kothari, author Karan Verma. We also have BRS spokesperson Karthik Reddy, political analyst Huda Zariwala, and political analyst himself, advocate Kapil Madan, completes the panel. My first question, though, is to Sanju Verma, because, you know, these are questions amidst the hangama, the dharna, the chaos that we're witnessing, not just in the national capital, in Bihar, and interestingly in Hyderabad as well, Sanju Verma. Those are questions that all of these political opponents of yours are currently asking the BJP as to why are these raids, these searches, these arrests so nicely timed with elections?
Kritsween, first and foremost, there is an election, either a local body or, a state election or, municipal election every 3 to 6 months. So to say that, the timing is circumspect is a whole lot of hogwash. Point number 2, when you say that the timing of the investigation is, synchronized with pending elections, I will just say this. If you have a watertight case against any BJP leader, I've said this on a zillion debates on this issue on your channel, because each time I come on debate, the only argument that the opposition gives is, oh, but this is witch hunting. Oh, but this is political vendetta. And what does the Aam Aadmi Party say? Aam Aadmi Party has just 6.3% vote share in 2 seats in Goa. And they say that BJP humse dar gayi. Aam Aadmi Party said we will form the government in Gujarat.
Okay.
They could barely manage to get a 12.5% vote share in 5 seats. And yet they claim that BJP dar gayi because Gujarat haar gayi. So, these arguments are not cutting ice. And I will just say this. Have you noticed any opposition leader, be it from the BRS, be it from the Aam Aadmi Party or the Congress or the TMC, giving any counter argument which will...
Okay, but let me ask you this, Sanju Verma, before I go across to others who are raising their hand, what about Arun Pillai and the sensational twist that has come to light with regards to his own admissions, because he's moved a city court accusing the ED of forging his statements? Does that not then give the opposition the ammunition to take on the BJP?
That's an excellent question, Kritsween, and I knew it was coming my way. Like I said, if the opposition has a watertight case, let them go to the court rather than sulking, whining and lamenting on national television and making a spectacle of themselves. As far as Arun Ramchandra Pillai is concerned, when the ED has decided to make arrests, when the ED filed a charge sheet in the liquor scam case way back in October and November of 2022, Arun Ramchandra Pillai was not the only witness whose statements were relied upon. Don't forget that there is prima facie evidence which shows that between Vijay Nair and Kavitha, the key link was Kavitha's ex-chartered accountant Bucci Babu. Between Kavitha and Manish Sisodia, the key link was Vijay Nair, an ex-close confidant of Manish Sisodia. Between Sisodia and Vijay Nair, the link is Dinesh Arora, who turned the formal approver. Between Dinesh Arora and Abhishek Boyempalli, the son of the co-founder of BRS.
Okay.
The link is
So
again
to
between
sum it up,
and
Sanju Verma, even if we keep aside Arun Pillai, there are several other players. And what about their confessions to the agencies? What about Dinesh Arora, who's turned an approver? What about Butchi Babu, former CA to K. Kavitha? What about Vijay Nair, who's very closely associated to the Aam Aadmi Party, as is being alleged? I do see Karthik Reddy wanting to come in, because those are allegations, of course, being levelled against the AAP and the BRS leader, K. Kavitha. But at the moment, because today is when she was questioned for almost 9 hours by the Enforcement Directorate, take it away. What about these players? Can K. Kavitha come out and say that she does not know any of them? She has no relationship with any of them whatsoever, as far as her workings are concerned?
Kritsween, as you know, the subject right now is in courts. I'm sure she will answer all your questions in courts. That's the obvious thing to do. But if I have to squash this argument in one go, I just heard Sanju speak and how they doctor evidences and how they lie blatantly on national television. She just said Abhishek Boyanpalli is son of co-founder of the BRS party. Can I know who's that co-founder, Sanju? I'll be waiting for you. Can you please tell the name of that person?
Does he have nothing to do with being the founder of your TRS, which has now become BRS? I challenge you to tell me that Abhishek Boyanpalli.
Can you tell me his father's name, please? Do not lie out of. Don't twist his subject, Sanju. Please do not twist his subject. Please don't shout. See this. Don't make empty sounds. Don't make empty sounds. No, the only person who founded this party is KCR and KCR alone. Do not lie. Please, my request is, do not lie. This is the unsubstantiated lies that BJP throws at our face.
Let's stick to facts here. Let's talk about what the agencies have kept before us, what they have presented to us in terms of the prosecution complaint so far, in terms of the remand note. Let's stick to facts. Let's not try and digress. But I want to quickly talk about Butchi Babu, since Sanju raised that point. And this is an excerpt from the ED remand note, which says that it's a statement from Butchi Babu dated 23rd February 2023, and he's disclosed that there was a political understanding between K. Kavitha and the Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi. In that process, K. Kavitha has also met Mr. Vijay Nair on the 19th or the 20th March 2021. This is what the remand note states. Now, that's my question. Again, coming back to the fact, can K. Kavitha come out and deny any links to these players, who, by the way, have been mentioned by the Enforcement Directorate on multiple occasions? Mr. Reddy.
Kritsween, now that you asked me a specific question, please bear me a minute or so. See, before I answer to your question, let me take you back to a very famous or infamous case this country knows pretty well. The 2002 Gujarat riot case, which our own Honorable Prime Minister was part of, and also the Sohrabuddin encounter case, which is the present Home Minister was in jail. All these allegations made, can I speak, Kritsween, please? Kritsween, you asked me something.
Sanju, I'll come back to you. I'll give you time to respond to what Mr. Reddy is saying. Let him make his point. Go ahead.
Right? All these allegations made against the Prime Minister, or then the Gujarat Chief Minister, or the then Gujarat Home Minister, were squashed in court. Now the names you just asked me, I do not know who these people are. This will eventually be answered in the court. This has to be proved by the agencies.
Mr. Reddy,
then the agencies allege that the crime has happened.
Can it come from putting out counter posters, hitting out at the BJP, putting a poster of Ravan with the Prime Minister's face on it? Is that the answer? Leveling the washing machine charge? Now, you may very well believe in that narrative and you may want to put out those questions, but let her get quizzed. Let her come out, which she has. Let the agencies decide what they want to do next. And if she does not find any relief in the future, then the courts will come out with a relief if she's not guilty. It's very simple. Why do we keep complicating things and, create such a drama around something that needs to be investigated? Because at the end of the day, the entire excise policy scam has come at a cost.
Yes. Can I also answer, please?
No, he spoke against the Prime Minister. I need to make a quick
last time I checked, Kavitha Garu was part of the investigation. It just been an hour or so that she has come out from the investigation from the ED office. And when you speak about the posters, what's wrong? And today, if you see the Ravan poster put up in Hyderabad, the Ravan poster had 10 heads, and each head was a pictorial representation of all the agencies: ED, CBI, IT, NCB, all the other agencies which we allege have been part of the Modi-run.
This cannot be a
Sorry, what Sanju was
Sanju,
saying, I didn't hear what she was saying.
Agencies being misused, IT, CBI, Enforcement Directorate, you name it, the BJP, make sure that they rush all of those teams to all poll-bound states and time it very well.
You know, Kritsween, since Prime Minister Modi's name came up with reference to the Gujarat riot, let me educate the BRS spokesperson that Prime Minister Modi was given a clean chit by the district court in Gujarat, by the magistrate court, by the Ahmedabad High Court.
That's what I said, ma'am.
And despite that
is what I said, ma'am.
20 long years hounded Prime Minister Modi. So you should take a leaf out of Prime Minister Modi's book.
Kritsween, can you tell her that I just said the same thing?
Okay.
He was never ranting on national television. He faced the judicial process with all honesty.
Oh,
Why
really?
is it that your leaders have chosen to cry on national television rather than facing the law of the land?
Okay, no, well, it's a given, Sanju Verma, that relief came in for the court, supreme clean chit for the Prime Minister, and none of us are going to get into that. But
Obviously,
to get in a legal perspective on this, let me go across to Swapnil as well. Swapnil, where do you see this headed, and do you think the case against K. Kavitha, to be specific, let's begin with that and then we'll go across to Manish Sisodia as well, is watertight enough, at least on the face of it? Because, you know, given the series of confessions that have been made, which by the way have been quoted by the agency itself in the prosecution complaint, in the remand note, these are very minute details that have been stated with regards to meetings that took place, with regards to 100 crore kickback amount. Very, very absolute terms have been mentioned in these notes.
Well, Kritsween, I have always been maintaining that none of these offences which take place against the PCA or the PMLA, the Prevention of Corruption Act and the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, can be happening in isolation. They have to be in concert. And by concert, I don't mean two people. It has to be a series of people. It has to be several heads together that have planned this out and that have carried this out. Now, obviously, the Enforcement Directorate is going one after the other to the people that they think are involved in this scam. And once they approach the nitty-gritty of it and the nubs and the points of it, then they'll eventually be able to give us a greater picture. They could be possibly having a bigger picture, but they will not disclose that because they want to work in confidence. They don't want this to be out to the media unless they are absolutely sure of what they are doing and who they nail at the end of the day. Now, as far as Kavitha is concerned, I believe that if they have interrogated her for 9 hours today, and you know, this can go on for quite some time, I believe they could be having some solid information in their hand to go on and to go ahead with and to grill her on to elicit certain answers. Now, for the benefit of your audience, let me tell you what happens here in these kind of cases which are fiscal offences, such as the PC and the PMLA and all of those things, is that you cannot keep your mouth shut. You have to answer. You cannot invoke your constitutional right to saying that, you know, this is I have a right against self-incrimination.
Okay.
This is where you have to open your mouth. You have to say that, sorry, I have not evaded.
But does it, in your view, go beyond non-cooperation and being evasive? Because that's what time and again has been cited by the courts as well, in not granting relief to Manish Sisodia.
Correct. Now, that's exactly what I'm saying. So that's exactly what I'm saying, that you have to answer. And if you do not answer, you're considered as non-cooperative and you're considered as evasive because possibly you don't have satisfactory answers. Now, you know, I have only one suggestion to make. This lampooning which is going on, you know, putting 10-headed Ravan with some, you know, enforcement agencies. I simply suggest that can you please ask any of these people, should ask their defense lawyers, that they should include this lampooning in their affidavit and say that, you know, this is what is happening at the behest of the ruling party and this is what the Enforcement Directorate, do you think any defense lawyer is ever going to even put these things up? Yes, people do have a right to lampoon, people do have a right to put it up, people do have a right to have dharnas. This is absolutely their fundamental right to do so. But when it comes to defense, what I suggest to the people who are involved in this is that you come out with more plausible defense, more rock-solid answers, which are then able to, you know, quash the proceedings of Enforcement Directorate to say that, look, you have not been able to find anything. You are basically swinging a sword in the air Those kind of things work more rather than these things, because these things, having these,
very interestingly, in the court, CBI, Swapnil, in fact, spoke of how, as far as, the case against Manish Sisodia is concerned, spoke of how the intimidation tactics, and by that they referred to protests and dharnas that were being staged, are, in fact, mounting pressure on some of the key witnesses in the case. That's what was stated by the CBI. But anyway, moving on and taking it across to Huda Zariwala as well, because it doesn't only end at K. Kavitha and the big South lobby that is being spoken of, Huda Zariwala. There are key players, and like Sanju pointed out, it's very interesting how one channel goes via Vijay Nair and the other channel goes via Bucci Babu, Dinesh Arora, and the list is endless. So where does the buck stop really? And if these are links that are being spoken of, and Bucci Babu, for example, in the ED remand note, has been cited while saying that there was a certain understanding that took place between the Aam Aadmi Party and K. Kavitha. Is that not to be taken seriously? Must that not be investigated? Can that just be let off and sidelined by calling it political vendetta and witch hunt? Then we can't investigate anything against any opposition leader.
Exactly.
Precisely.
Huda Zariwala.
Well, good evening. Thank you so much for having me on your show. Honestly, thank you. Thank you for that question. And yes, like you rightly asked, where does the buck stop? Now, this is a question that unfortunately has been going on and on for a while now. No substantial proof against either Manish Sisodia-ji or even Dr. Satyendar Jain, for that matter, has come out. Yet time and again, he's being accused of
Jain has found no relief from the courts, Ms. Zariwala.
Agreed. And that is exactly why we are calling this a witch hunt, which is why exactly this is being...
I'm sure, Ms. Zariwala, if it were a witch hunt, the first thing that would have come
by the BJP.
Satyendar Jain's way was relief. He would be not in jail. He would not be in Tihar right now. And we can't certainly go on to cast aspersions on the court's verdict.
Please read the new PMLA Act.
Manish,
May I come in?
Manish Sisodia-ji's name was not mentioned in either of the charge sheets, the first one and the second one. And yet at the same time, when the son of the Karnataka MLA takes an 8 crore bribe, he is given bail. On what grounds? I mean, Manish Sisodia-ji's name has still yet to be cleared. Agreed. But then, from ED to the CBI to back to the ED, I mean, at this point in time, if there is anything substantial to be found, don't you think by now, with so many raids, with so many, offences against him, something would have come out? I mean, this is clearly, an attack by the BJP, not just on Aam Aadmi Party.
Okay, point taken. But if we were to go by the narrative that the so-called united opposition is currently building, then we were to also believe that nothing has been found in the land for jobs scam. But yes, today itself we've put out details of how crores of unaccounted cash has been recovered and gold has been recovered and so on and so forth. In that sense, Kapil Madan, then we must not go beyond investigations. We must not look into seizures. We must not talk about recoveries, because anything that's being launched against the opposition leaders is a political vendetta. It's simple witch hunt. But there you have, after raids being conducted for a long day, so many recoveries being made. You can't cancel the scope of something such as that, which may come out in public domain. Kapil Madan.
Yes. So, Kritsween, I would agree with you here that
unfortunately,
madam, I think
used by the BJP.
Madam,
all these agencies need to have a fair amount of.
Okay, no incriminating evidence found from the searches that have been conducted at the residence or properties of Manish Sisodia. All right, let Kapil Madan come in. Kapil.
Now, Kritsween, for any act of corruption, there should be an investigation, and you should do the investigation in a fair and a very, very quick manner. Now, look at what is happening in the country. Now you have ED registering cases, doing raids one after the other, where the conviction rate is less than 1%. I will just give you an example of National Health. They are investigating since 2014, and we are now in 2023, yet there is no conclusion of the investigation. So how, and the ED is being used as the their poll campaigners.
Okay.
I mean, you do the investigation. I mean, there cannot be any justification for any act of corruption.
Well, as per the opposition, the CBI is also a poll campaigner of the BJP, but the CBI's conviction rate is nowhere close to the ED's conviction rate.
Clearly, it is.
It's nowhere close to the ED's conviction rate. Karan Verma.
It is acting like one because at this.
No, let him come in. It all boils down to the conviction rate. It's abysmally low at 0.5%, and hence these questions are being asked today. Karan.
You know, Kritsween, institutions are not strengthened overnight. Before 2014, there were no convictions in the ED. Today, ED has that sort of infrastructure where, you must know, from 2004 to 14, only 5,340 crores worth properties or assets were seized. Today, ED has recovered 1 lakh crore worth of assets. In 3,000 raids, we've recovered that much of money, which is a bonus to our exchequer. So, you know, conviction rates don't go up magically. Today, their budget has also been increased, officers have also been increased, and ED is working tirelessly to establish money trails. Look at the kind of effort that has gone into this Delhi liquor scam. I am amazed by the effort. Today, ED is close to cracking the entire trail of money. Now, please let me make my point. Please, I did not interrupt. Now you have to check her. You have to check her, Kritsween. I've just started speaking, please.
Okay, go ahead, make your point, quickly.
This argument that BJP people are not, this argument that BJP people are not facing any charges, let me point out some names. Lakshmikant Sharma, Mohit Kamboj, PVS Sharma, Gali Janardhan Reddy, Dushyant Singh, all these people are senior BJP leaders.
If I talk about ED's crackdown in the NDA era, as far as BJP and its allies are concerned, and those figures are on our screens right now, it amounts to 6 cases. 6 cases so far. Congress 24 cases, TMC 19 cases, NCP 11 cases, RJD 5 cases. So there's a long list and you can see those graphics on the air. But what's interesting here is the UPA was no different.
Absolutely.
It's no different because Congress also had 5 cases back then.
Just let me
against Congress leaders, against leaders from the Congress party. 3 cases for the BJP, 7 for the TMC, 2 for the BSP. So does that then apply Kapil Madan to the Congress as well?
Now, Kritsween, let me just give you a very quick rebuttal to Karan here.
Kritsween, you raise a very good question.
Karan, I'll come back to you. Just one quick answer from Kapil Madan and then I'll come to you.
No, this was a good question. I want to answer this.
Kapil.
Okay.
30 seconds, Kapil.
Yes. So I will just give a 30 seconds rebuttal. Do you know how an ED case is registered? They have this internal, document called ECIR, and which they say we will not give it to the accused, and that's how they register a case. Now coming to Karan's question, where Karan says that property worth of so many crores have been recovered, etc. I would just enlighten Karan that what happens at the EDs at the department level, you just provisionally attached. If there is no conviction happening, that property is released. That property is released. Now, if there is no conviction, no, I'm sorry. Sanju, Sanju, you please prove me I am lying.
Okay, these cases may very well have been launched, but the fact remains that the conviction rate is abysmally low, stands at less than 0.5%. Sanju, quick response. I have to quickly wrap up. Sanju.
Thank you, Kritsween. First and foremost, people who say that the ED's conviction rate is 0.5%, let me tell them that the Delhi excise liquor scam involving the South Group also is being jointly investigated by the ED and the CBI. And the CBI,
mind you, approved the liquor policy.
Madam,
why was there no ED questioning? Why did ED questioning? Let's not forget.
One second. If all of you all speak over each other, we're not going to be able to make any point. Kapil, Huda Zariwala, hold on. Let her complete. Sanju.
Why don't you correct her? She has.
I will. Let her make a point. I'll come back to you, Kapil.
Let me finish. Kritsween, I just want to ask.
But she's not making a point that makes sense. She's just repeating her point.
Vendetta is all fine.
No, but how would you counter to the fact that the conviction rate at the end of the day, Sanju, is abysmally low, 0.5%, less than that. It speaks poorly of the kind of cases that have been launched.
Kritsween, can I please finish? I heard that. I want the opposition, which has been saying that there is vendetta. Did Manish Sisodia violate the GMCPD Act 1991? Yes or no? The answer is yes. Did Manish Sisodia and Kavitha violate the
How many raids were
You know, we're going to keep moving in circles. We're going to keep moving in circles, and the unfortunate part in all of this, as far as today's debate is concerned, Sanju, is that there are facts, stated facts that you're also making that cannot be contested. But till the time the courts come out with a final verdict, we cannot jump the gun. We cannot come to a conclusion. We can't quite tell if Manish Sisodia is to be held responsible for this case as yet. But yes, Huda Zarewala, there are questions on why the expert committee recommendations were sidelined. How is it that the profit margin jumped from 5% to 12%? Because that's what led in the loss to the exchequer. There are questions that have to be answered. We can talk about the conviction rate in the meanwhile, but how is it that Manish Sisodia gets to dodge all of these questions? Quick comment from you, then I have to quickly wrap up.
At this point in time, if all the conviction rates and everything by the ED is spoken about, obviously there'll be too many eyebrows raised, a lot of questions asked. But if ED, in fact, and CBI are really, adept at doing their job, how many questioning by the ED and CBI did we see against Adani, the coal scam, the scores of the kgs, 500 kg, worth 500 crore of cocaine found in Adani port. I mean, everything.
Just by the way, the matter is sub judice now. Huda Zarewala, the matter is sub judice. A committee has been formed. The Supreme Court has intervened. So let's not try and digress. I mean, questions being asked of the Aam Aadmi Party today, we're going to take it to Adani. Similar things happen in the parliament as well. We're not going to reach any conclusion. Like I said, you're just trying to mislead the viewer in that sense, and that's something I'm not going to allow. The fact remains there are questions that have been put out. There are allegations that have been leveled. Yes, there's a big question mark as far as the conviction rate of the Enforcement Directorate is concerned. But remember, the CBI, when the CBI conducts its own set of investigation, the same opposition leaders do hit out at the CBI, call it BJP, misusing the agencies, but forgets about the conviction rate angle, forgets about the conviction rate narrative. So are these double standards that today stand exposed? How much merit there is to the case to pin down, let's say, bigwigs like Manish Sisodia and K. Kavitha in this case? Only time will tell. We'll have to wrap it up with that. Thank you, gentlemen, Ms. Huda Zarewala and also Sanju Verma for joining us this evening. A short break with that.